Well, good afternoon, folks. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot. I'm back with you again in another rather impromptu video. Something of a rant and something I really want to discuss, and I stress the opinions in this video are my own, and I think they're very important. The subject: realistic expectations from scenery and other developers in Flight Simulator 2020. So recently I've had some conversations with viewers and others regarding scenery products and how good and how bad they are, or how good they should be. In short, discussions about our expectations from the developers, both payware and freeware, but especially payware, since you and me will be spending our hard-earned cash potentially. Just over 3 years ago, the dedicated simmers among you, and I include myself here, were stunned when Microsoft announced the imminent release of Flight Simulator 2020, a brand new version of our favourite simulator after nearly 10 years of being out of the Flight Simulator franchise. In August 2020, after many teasing images and videos, the new simulator was released, and me, like you, were blown away by the realism in it. The weather, clouds, and the way the sky looked, and the incredible whole new vistas to be seen in the program, the likes of which we'd never seen in a flight simulator before. And many of us were rubbing our hands together, knowing that because Microsoft had stated that they were going to cooperate and collaborate with our community third-party developers directly for the first time, we just couldn't wait for those talented developers to get going on brilliant and realistic sceneries and aircraft for the new simulator. I realised perhaps 6 months down the line that we needed to be cautious and realistic in our expectations of exactly what we could expect from those developers. With Microsoft Asobo only partially releasing information from the software development kit, just bits at a time, and we still do not have access to any meaningful data on weather development, so third-party developers can't work on that, I knew that we should not set our expectations too high. Now we are over 3 years into the current simulator, and after many world updates and sim updates, arguably it looks better than ever. We see waterfalls over the Victoria Falls in Africa, as well as moving animals on all kinds of African plains. And we hear sounds we've never heard in a simulator before too. Engineers in a hangar working on an aircraft, passengers in a terminal chit-chatting away just as if we were actually there. So many effects and things to enjoy. So much new eye candy to enhance the ambience of the simulated world in which we immerse our virtual selves. I've even seen whales diving out of the water in a scenery recently, and you guys should check out the Bora Bora enhancement project, which is currently available on the FlyTampa website if you want to see that. But I also see many complaints from people who say that a scenery is no good when they bought it. They complain about low resolution textures or lack of 3D work in some scenery, even saying that it looks like FSX. And they say this all while not even thinking that the developer might be new to this and still learning his or her trade, so to speak. But remember, that developer wants to contribute and bring to us a scenery of that place that perhaps no one's done yet, and maybe doesn't even exist in the simulator because Microsoft forgot to put it there. Somewhere that we would all love to fly to and explore, but we cannot, because despite the wonderful visual simulation that is Flight Simulator 2020, some simmers still expect much more. Currently we have some really good developers who understand what has been released from the software development kit, and they are utilising their skills to bring us the best of what Flight Simulator 2020 has to offer. To bring us the ambience and scenery content the likes of which we've never experienced until now. Pyreegue Dev Company, FlyTampa, Ini Builds, UK 2000 Scenery, Desreki Designs, PackSim, etc., to name just a few of those talented developers who have been able to grasp the inner workings of the software development kit to bring us unparalleled airports, adventurescapes and vistas. Yet amongst them we still have other developers who are still learning how to comprehend the software development kit and how to code in such a way to contribute to the community and bring us the realism we so desire. So by way of this video, I just want to remind us that we should be careful about our expectations and how we criticize developers and their products. Yes, even the top developers make mistakes and sometimes surprise us by what they decided to leave out of a product, and what caused us to frown and step back and wonder why. In reviewing over 300 scenery products over the last 3 years, I've come to realise that I need to actively encourage all developers, from the small one-man band and the not-so-skilled people who try to bring us something we don't yet have, to the big guys who have the great skill and incredible abilities we see in the really amazing products they produce for us so far. And price always comes into play here too. If a scenery is released and the price makes you frown, ask yourself these questions. 1. Does the scenery already exist in Flight Simulator 2020? 2. Is it good enough for you to enjoy? 3. If not, is there a freeware alternative? And if not, is there a payware alternative? And 5. As with all of the above questions taken into account, how badly do you want that product, and is the price worth it to you? If the answer to number 5 is yes, then by all means buy the product and use it and enjoy it. It may not be the most real version of the place where you live close to and what you really want it to look like, but go and buy it. Support the developer, especially if updates, ongoing improvements are mentioned by the developer. To encourage these marvellous people who have the skills I would die for to continue to work to provide you with a better, visually more stunning version of what is already such a big jump from what we used to see in FSX and P3D is for me the right thing to do, and it's very important. In my video reviews I try hard to sandwich the good with the not so good. In over 300 videos it's been rare for me to find anything truly dreadful among the products I've reviewed. And whilst I will always point out what has not been included when perhaps it should be, I have to remember many things that need to be taken into account here, like frame rates, smoothness, and the possible skills of the developer who created the product. You need to look closely at these points before you jump on top of the developer and trash his work. I'd be looking at these points. 1. The skill set of the developer. It may not be FlyTampa, but he's made the attempt. 2. The fact that this developer has chosen not to include something because perhaps he wanted to help improve the performance of the product. And 3. The price. Is it too high, or is it a bargain? Does the price reflect the amount of work that's gone into the product? And we're sometimes talking weeks in some cases. So, I ask you fantastic dedicated simmers out there, support and encourage our developers, both big names and small. They deserve it. By all means discuss what's missing and what you'd like to see added or changed. But don't criticise or slam a developer for not giving you the product exactly how you wanted it. If you have expert knowledge of a location of a scenery, then by all means get in touch with the developer and offer your assistance. Don't badmouth him because the product does not exactly have what you expected it to have, because you live there and you know what it should have. Support and encouragement. It is very important in my opinion. If a product is truly dreadful, it will not sell and it will fall by the wayside of its own accord without your help. Many products that are not as highly developed as those by the likes of FlyTampa and Pyreegue Dev Company, for example, are offered at a low competitive prices, and whilst they might not have all the bells and whistles, they are an attempt by the developers to improve and enhance what this great simulator offers us. And in my humble opinion, these devs should be encouraged and supported, not ridiculed. So, to wrap up this little rant of mine, first thanks for listening, and I encourage you all to look carefully at a product and decide if it represents something you're looking for. Give it a good look before you decide to trash the developer. And I'd ask you not to trash the developer. We want them to improve, not to be scared away from bringing us more and better products. Just because one person who trashes their name and their product just might mean that we never see that developer again, and we will never enjoy the fruits of their labour and their later skill set improvements that just might, in the future, bring you the product in a rendition that you're really looking for. But now you won't get because that developer was forced out of the frame by unhelpful comments and criticism. I think support and encouragement is critical to the amazing developers out there, both big and small, who enhance our hobby or attempt to enhance it. I hope you think the same. Blue skies to everybody. Thank you for watching. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up this little rant, and I hope you take these things on board. You guys take care, have a great week and weekend coming up, and look out for some videos next week. Take care, bye bye for now.